All of you watching here, come close to the screen and listen. People don't have to like you. People don't have to love you. They don't even have to respect you. But when you look in the mirror, you better love what you see. You better love what you.
What is up, ladies, and welcome to On Wednesdays We Wear Pink. Now, disclaimer, I know y'all like, Nihani, where is your pink stink? I have it on. I have on pink shorts. It's just that y'all can't see how I'm sitting. I have the camera arranged. But I just didn't have time to find an all pink fit today, so don't judge me. But we are in a pinked out crib. If I could show y'all my whole crib. Well, if you know my crib is all pink. So we pink ready. Amen. But anyways, our drink of the day is a margarita. I've been in my cocktail making bag lately, so I wanted to keep it real simple. And if you don't know, a margarita is just simply triple sec, which is an orange liqueur, lime or lime/lime juice, and tequila. So I use tequila reposado today, and I actually add extra limes into my margaritas because I just like extra lime into my margaritas. But to each his own, figure out what works for you. But that is our cocktail that we are drinking today. I try to stay away from the wine because that's for the mommies. Today we are girlies, okay? But yes, ladies, I hope y'all are doing well. This is our first pink episode in a while. Don't beat me up. I'm sorry. But what happened last month, it was just a lot of chaos going on, trying to record and film, school, mom, all this extra stuff that I have going on. It just be a little overwhelming, but I am keeping up for you ladies. So I really hope y'all enjoy today. And speaking of, if y'all listening and you're watching today, I hope you have on pink. So if you do, make sure you take a picture, snap a picture, and post it on your Instagram, or you don't even have to post it on your story. Just send it to me at mobsquad2 on Instagram, and I'm gonna post you because why not? You're a supporter, you're a lover. Thank you for listening to our pink episode that I'm super excited about. If you can tell by the title, we are going to be jumping in our 20s. But listen, I have a surprise for y'all today. We are introducing a new segment to the show. Click, 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 click. So this segment is called What's Your Shade of Pink? And the point of that, this part of the show is to introduce you guys to an outlet to express your story times, your advice, your questions, whatever you send to me. I'm going to read it during this part of the show, and we rank it from lightest to darkest pink, of course, to stay on theme to the on Wednesdays we were pink, so why not? Because pink is the vibe. This is what we on. So whatever you sent in, we're gonna rate it. Lightest pink, of course, being the most daintiest, the coolest. Like, oh, okay, that was cute, that was simple. To the dark pink being the most outrageous, that was crazy. Fuchsia type pink. Okay. With that being said, let's move into our What's Your Shade of Pink?
I have my nipples out, I have my panties out. It's gonna sound hypocritical, but shit. Uninvolved young lady. Young, emphasis on young. There's just things that I just feel like I would never do, or I'm just like, oh my God, I really did that?
All right, so let's go ahead and get into what's our shade of pink this month. And today we have a story from quote unquote Carol, where I usually don't I'm not going to say y'all real names if y'all don't want me to, but I don't want y'all knowing who this is anyway. So Carol is our storyteller of the day. So let's go ahead and get into her story. So the story starts with two friends, one who was my ex and the other who I wanted to be my me. And my ex and I started rehashing things and had been talking and messing around for about 2 months. The new guy there's a new guy. The new guy, we've been talking for 4 months. So I'm on the phone with my ex one day just joking around, and he brings up the new guy as his friend. And they were hanging out. My heart instantly went to my ass. I didn't know what the fuck to do. So the next day, I was talking to the new guy, and he brought up my ex. And I went with my move. He said, y'all not even cool like that. He got in his feelings and was all butthurt and a little sassy, but we're not going to get into that. So after that, he mentioned that he never mentioned it again. And to my knowledge, they were not cool anymore. Boy, was I wrong. I went over to my ex's house about 2 months after this incident, and they were on the game together. I'm yapping, of course, because I'm a yapper. And all I hear is that Carol? I'm looking confused, like, who the fuck is asking about me on that game? So I see my new guy's face on the FaceTime call, and all I could do was cry. And he literally seen me look at him. So he didn't say too much. But the next day, when I linked with him and I tried to explain why I was over there, he was not going for that shit. He went off on my ass before I could even sit in the fucking seat. I was all kinds of itches and holes. And he explained how he cut off one of his closest friends because I'm a shiesty whore, and kicked me out of his car. We started talking again after he found out my ex cut me off too, but he couldn't get over himself, so it never went further than me being widow to both of them. So, moral of the story, ladies, you cannot try to play both sides with them friends, because if you try to make them stop being friends, it's gonna bite you in the ass for real. Baby, Carol, your shade of pink is the hottest, the fuchsia, the darkest pink that we got today. Because why would you try to do that? Trying to break up friends because you want to be with both of them is crazy. It's crazy, sister. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't never been that deep in it, nah. But I digress. I digress anyway. But we're gonna move on to our next section.
Nobody likes a confident woman. They'd rather you be a woman looking for your confidence than you actually be a confident woman, because that makes them nervous.
Okay, ladies, I hope that was very entertaining and fun for you, because it was for me. But that's just an idea to get of what your shade of pink is going to look like, okay? So make sure you do not hesitate. You do not have to include your information or any real names. You can make everything up if you want to, like as far as with names and stuff. But send in your situations, girl, because we want to hear it. This is a community of fun and festive girly talk, okay? So no judgment is being passed. And if you are being passed, you're getting passed to the dope. Pass to the dope, ayy, to the dope. For real, we do not tolerate the judgment around here. There's only one person that can judge, and that is who? Oh, God, thank you. So with that being said, let's move into our topic of the day. I wanted to go on into a different approach of how I wanted to address, surviving your 20s. So I reached out to a couple of friends and family to give some input on advice of how to survive their 20s. And I'm going to, put my own input in between, to elaborate on the topic, to make it a little, longer, and elaborate more on how my ideas and how I've, probably, apply that to my life. But I also, it's from a different range of people. Let me disclaim that right there. So I asked someone who is younger than me. I'm 22, who just walked into their 20s, of what has been your experience so far being 20 years old, probably not even a whole year, And then I asked someone 24, 25, their experiences. And then I asked someone who was older than 20, like outside of the 20s, and what's your advice that would you give to someone that is currently living in their 20s. So I am super excited. So let's go ahead and get into what I got from my sister girl that is younger than us. Okay, so the first thing first is she said to be mindful of the devil of it. Being mindful of the devil and his intentions, and staying woke spiritually. Now this is very controversial. This is a controversial topic for sure, because just the election last week, people were constantly saying, y'all need to put this energy into Jesus, into God, into the word, this thing, that thing. But I'm not against that at all. But also I think that we tend to forget that some people are not religiously on a religion, spree. Like they don't believe in certain things. They don't practice certain things. Not everybody's into Christianity. So it's like, be kind. Cause you're supposed to be an outlet for God's word, period. Like, not judging people based on their ability to, correlate to religion and all that kind of stuff is not necessary, But I was saying that to say before we started to talk about this topic, like, if it doesn't relate to you, it is, well to listen of how we approach certain things. But when she does say to be aware of the devil and his intentions, it comes in exactly what you want it to come in, right? The devil is mischievous, and he is going to show up in things that are going to please you, because that's what He does. Like, God is not going to be a man that's going to come in something that you want him to come in. That's something, if you know your God, you know that our God is not a God that's going to please. He's not going to give you pleasant experience. It's all about learning. You ask for patience. He's going to put you in a situation to learn patience. He's not going to just hand you patience. That's how you know distinguish if it's from foe or fair, if that makes sense. Okay, so being a 20-year-old young woman, you're just approaching this new era of life, and you're exposed to all these vices and all these urges and temptations, and it's just like, wow, candy bucket, I want to go after it, but with your horses, because this is all new to you. This is a new experience. You need to be careful of what kind of candy that you're picking at, because not all candy is good candy, right? I mean, or let's not even say candy, let's say sugar. Not all sugar is good sugar. You have the sugar from your fruits, and then the sugar from your sweet tarts and your Starbursts and stuff. That is not the same, okay? Even though at some point they can have equal amount of negativity into your body, but let me not go sciencey on it. No, for real. But y'all get what I'm saying. Like, just be aware. Even if you aren't spiritually in tune, I say just be careful of decisions that you're making based off what's in front of you, because sometimes the worst things can be presented to us in the most beautiful gifts. Okay, that was a good one. I'm not gonna lie, coming from a 20-year-old, clap on that, girl. I love that one. This is the second thing she said. Y'all, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little shocked, because at 20 years old, I was not thinking like this at all. So she said, do not feel independence and isolation. And what's super crazy is I had this conversation with somebody that I was working with probably a couple months ago. And she was asking me, she was like, how does it feel to live by yourself and all this and stuff? And at 20 years old, y'all, this is probably the most important time that you understand how to be independent and how to live alone. Because life at some point is going to be lonely. You're not going to have anybody around you to conversate. Everybody's going to be at different stages of their life. Everything is not going to align perfectly. So it's like you're going to have to figure things out by yourself. You're going to have to go on dates by yourself. The dating pool is not the best pool that we have. Amen. So you're just going to be in this constant revolving door of, damn, it's just me. And appreciate that. Because it's going to benefit you in the long run, being able to have that isolation time to learn and thrive within yourself, because now you're picking out the things that you want to learn about yourself, right? You're learning about your boundaries, your insecurities, the things that you like, the things that you don't like. Like, it's going to be such a beautiful, but an overwhelming experience, because it's like you have this fear of missing out, but yet you are alone. You're by yourself. And this is a prize that you can't win in those circuits. Amen. Like, just appreciate being able to be in isolation, so that you can not just focus on what everything that is constantly coming on around you. Turn the phone off every once in a while. Even turn the music off every once in a while, and listen to your thoughts and see how you actually feeling. And when is the last time you actually ask yourself, how are you feeling about something? Like, hello, y'all. 2024, I can honestly say I'm leaving this year with something so beautiful, that I was able to sit here and learn myself. For real, and not because I like strictly isolated myself from everyone. Like, I was like, hey, no, I'm not fucking with you. Like, I actually had periods of time where it's just like, this is about me, and I don't want it about anybody else. So I was able to I was able to really sit and figure out, okay, Nee, how do you feel about this certain situation? How do you feel about this? How you feel about that? And y'all, it opened a brand new perspective about life for me that I can't be more grateful for it. So I'm highly recommend it. If you don't think that you're crazy for talking to yourself, hello, like, look at me. I literally talk to myself all day. I did that today. I sat in the car today for probably about an hour and a half before I went to class, and I was just sitting there, and I literally broke down. I went through every piece of situation in my life, and I was like, Nee, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about dealing with this person? How do you feel about this class? How do you feel about this? Like, to myself, so that I can be aware of everything that's going around. Yeah, it's such a beautiful and rewarding experience, because now you're so in tune with your emotions and your feelings. It's like nobody can tell you any differently. Like, you know how to maneuver through certain stuff because you're more aware of how it's making you feel, if that makes sense. Do y'all follow me? Okay, I know sometimes I get to talking a little fast, a little Okay, but let me slow it down. I really want y'all to understand how important it is to isolate yourself, because you can get so consumed with the outside world that you just lose yourself. You get lost in the crowd, and it's gonna be hard to bring yourself out of that crowd if you get too far. Okay, so if you are at the point where you feel like I'm not comfortable enough to be by myself, figure out why. Why aren't you comfortable enough to be alone? What's stopping you from being that way? Is it a safety reason? Like you feel like, okay, I just feel like I can't protect myself enough to, go take myself on a date or do this by myself. Okay, that's more understandable. But, being able to not be on your phone for a couple of hours, to really sit in solitude, to analyze your thoughts and your emotion, your physical body, something so simple as doing that. Like, why can't you do that? Really, really sit there and ask yourself. And if you really need the help to answering that question, go to therapy. There's always outlets. Don't try to actually seek answers from somebody you can get professional help from if you can, because it'll benefit better than dealing with somebody that is a little more biased, like your mom or something. If you have somebody that's not really as open-minded, or not opposed to the things that you're doing in your life, if that makes sense. So just try to find an outlet to figure out, why. But isolation, being by yourself and independence, know how to maneuver through life when you don't have nobody, because at some point you're not going to have anybody. So make sure y'all please take that one as a big one. Okay. So the last thing that she said is make sure, or she was saying you can't put out what you haven't put in. So that goes into basically working into something, like you expecting something, but you're not putting in the work, right? Like imagine, let's say you started a business, you want to start a business, but yet you aren't doing anything to get there. You're just, this is what I'm going to do. Oh, this is what I'm going to do. I want to start a hair business. Right, scroll through TikTok, see a couple of people that own hair businesses, look at their videos, like, oh, this is cool. All right. And then nothing. It's like, oh yeah. And then you're going around telling people, oh yeah, I'm gonna start a hair business. Okay, cool. What's going on? You're not doing anything. You're not even putting any work, any research, finding vendors, figuring out how to establish an LLC, business credit, fucking legal allegations that you have to deal with when it comes down to a business, as far as hair companies dealing with payments and knowing what kind of hair is good and what to do, what happens when your vendor decides to change their hair, like, marketing and all this kind of stuff comes into play. But I'm using it as an example because that goes to every aspect of your life. Like, how can you expect a good relationship with someone if you're not having a good relationship with yourself? All that is the same thing. It's like a compromise. Like, you have to put in the work in order to receive what you want. Point blank, period. We live in a world where it's kind of like, oh, we're gonna hand this to you on a silver platter, but that's not how that shit works. So I'm not gonna say that's not the world we live in. It's just the world that's portrayed to us through social media. It's like, okay, just because you look like this, you get to have this, but you ain't putting in no work. Like, you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. You see people making all this money, but you don't know what they do, what's going on to get there, get to that point, right? So stop fantasizing behind things that are not relevant to your life. Like, social media is cool because it gives you an idea of the things that you can achieve, but that's not your life. That's somebody else's life. Right. Okay. So make sure that you are putting in the work to make sure that you are establishing all the foundations that you need to thrive, to get to your higher self, because it's it's only in your control, honestly. Well, in God's control as well. But you are what's tangible here. Like, put in the work, girl, and stop comparing yourself to what everybody else have going on, because comparison is the thief of joy, for real. Okay. And I literally had to make that statement to myself coming down like to school. I was like, damn, I put myself on this timeline, like looking at everybody else, like, oh, everybody's doing this, doing that, but hold your horses, girl. Like, you're fine. Don't compare yourself. You're getting your education. You can only get your degree in a year, literally, and medical school is going to come when it comes. Like, calm down, like, and you need to do the same thing to yourself as well. So stop banking on ideas and unrealistic things that people are constantly telling you. Like, no, you need to make sure that you are laying down your own rocks, your own stepping stones, so you can step up to the top. Amen. All right, so that was all we got from my 20-year-old friend, y'all. She's super sweet, super cool. Hopefully one day I can bring her to a Pink episode so I can really talk to her and feel the vibes, because she's really nice. So moving on, we have a long list of advice from someone who just made 24. Don't beat me up, but she just made 24. Yes. And I actually love this list because it's so crazy. I thought everybody that I was going to ask have different, have the same thing, but everybody's category fits the age. Like, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into this. So the first thing she said is to focus on your mental. As a 20-year-old woman, I can tell y'all, I'm 22. As a 22-year-old woman that has a child that's in school, that has this podcast, that is starting side businesses, that is maintaining friendships, maintaining family, not maintaining a relationship right now because I have too much on my plate for that. But the mental chaos of it all can become overwhelming. Like, it can feel like that anxiety storm that we just seen on Inside Out 2, for real. Baby, we're going crazy. So you need to channel a lot of your time on your mental health, and that goes back to what I said about isolation and making sure you have time to really ask yourself, how do you feel? How are you okay right now? And you can do that type of stuff through journaling. Big things, journaling. I used to journal. Because journaling, I think is not my strong suit. I'm not gonna lie. When I did journal well, but I just feel like it's not my strong suit because I cannot stay consistent with it. Like, it's not something I really want to do. I think my outlet is more talking to myself. Like, like I said earlier, just having a conversation with myself, like, how you doing type shit. But journaling is an outlet. You can literally find books, a plethora of books that give you journal prompts to sit there and write, or just write off your mind, especially how you feel in that moment. If you're encounter a certain interaction, a certain feeling, and you're like, I need to get this out somewhere, jot it down on some paper, okay? It's going to benefit you in the long run. Meditating, y'all, this is more than just mental health, for real. Like, this comes with the physical as well, being so connected within your body, because a lot of stress and overwhelm does come from the physical things that we do as well that can affect their mental as well. So it's just like meditation gives you that time to breathe in, breathe out, and get in tune with your body. Feel your fingertips. When the last time you ever sat and felt your body? Not literally feel the body, but feel your body through your body. Like, when is the last time you felt and thought about, oh, what are my toes doing right now? Like, that mental break you give to yourself to analyze yourself and what you're going through with your body, it goes a very, very long way. Highly recommend doing it, especially early in the morning. First thing when you wake up, meditating or stretching. If you're not big on the meditation thing, or even yoga, all that kind of is in the same category: meditation, yoga, and stretching. Or right before you go to sleep, to get that blood, like, get your body relaxed to go to sleep, so you're gonna be in tune. Let those restless thoughts go out the window when you stretch, because it's just like, you let all that tension go. So highly recommend doing that. That was a good one. Reading. Now, this one is a big one, y'all. We are constantly told that you need to read. But yes, you need to read. Like, for real. And not just self-help books. That's a big one she included there. Something that we are targeted constantly as 20-year-olds is self-help, self-love, self-this, self-that. Okay, girl, I understand. Yes, I need to learn myself, but baby, I want to hear about somebody, like, the zombies coming out the fucking walls and shit. Like, find a genre that causes you to exhale, like, where you can find a safe space within, because constantly hearing about self-help and all this crazy ass shit that people are projecting onto us, we sometimes can get overwhelmed because we're not achieving that stuff. It's just like, okay, relax, find you a good book that you can escape. Go in your room and hide, turn your phone off, put your lamp on, not even have any music, and just read and connect with the author and connect with the characters and come up with your own visions and learn your dictionary. Build on your Dang, look at me. I'm talking about build on it. And I can't think about the word because I'm just thinking about so much right now. But build on your words and how you articulate things. Like reading goes a very long way, especially how you can communicate. Because when you're limited, especially with your vocabulary, when you enter the real world, people are kind of gonna look at you crazy because like, how do you not know these simple terms in their eyes, because it's something you're supposed to know. Okay, so read, find some different genres and explore what the world of reading has to offer, because it's such a fun thing. I'm not gonna lie, like I've introduced myself to some crazy genres that I thought I never would, and I was like, I am messing with this one, amen. So most definitely tap into that book. Okay, now she said moving on to the physical health is very, very important. Fresh out of high school, y'all, I understand. We get to college, we go crazy, we go ballistic, we drinking alcohol like crazy, we eating like crazy because we are not the richest. We are probably at the lowest in our financial status. So it's like we're getting at how we live. But there's ways that you can contradict, like, the bad parts is like constantly just, it's something so simple as going on a walk every day, probably for 30 minutes around the park. Take your friend girls and talk. Like literally something so that you keep yourself active. But if you do have the time, find your niche of staying active. Like recently, I realized that the gym, I cannot fit that into my schedule. Even though I was going to the gym, it was actually draining me more than I needed it to, because I have heavy mornings. I wake up, have to get Maya ready, get her to school, make breakfast, pack her lunch, get my stuff together for my classes during the day. So my morning is very, very busy. So imagine that, and then going straight to the gym afterwards. And I was going to the gym strict, like Stairmaster, first thing I'm doing. Then I'm running, walking a mile, then I'm lifting heavy, doing this and this, and by the time all that's done, it's only 11 o'clock, and I come home because my classes are in the evening. Come home, I'm tired, I'm drained at this point because I had a heavy ass morning. Then I went to the gym, like, okay, I need a break, and I'm taking a nap, 2-hour nap, wake up, damn, pick up Maya from daycare or go to class. So it was just like, it was kind of taking up a lot of my time. So something I recently got into is a pole. And I know y'all probably raising your eyebrows. It's like, a pole, are you trying to be a stripper? And I was like, this is actually crazy because I love it. Like the sensuality and intimacy that I get from dancing on my pole is really important to me, because also I'm not in a relationship right now. And it's crazy related to that, because it's just one aspect. It's not the entire aspect. Let me disclaim that right now. But what I get from dancing on my pole is intimacy, and I'm a person that is very big on intimacy, which is why I'm not in a relationship, because I don't have time to, devote myself to that right now. So dancing on my pole and learning how to do pole stuff gives me the outlet to really release that energy in that way, because it's like dancing for me. If you know me, I've been dancing since I was able to walk, like real dancing, ballet, tap, all that stuff. Like dancing was my outlet, but it's also, I don't have the time to go to the dance studio and do this and that. It's literally a pole in my room. Whenever I start to feel stressed and overwhelmed, I just get up there, boom, 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 learn new something, and I'm straight. I'm content. Let it take probably 30 minutes and I'm fine. But it's also, I'm being active, because that shit is hefty. Having to lift my body up and fucking twirl around girl, I be dizzy spinning and shit. Like it be fun, but girl, the work, I think I'm gonna sign myself up for some classes during the summer for real, because it's really fun though. It's a really cool outlet that I enjoy. But anyway, back to the task at hand. Fitness and being physical. Just find your outlet. Pilates, keeping your body in tune, like something just to make sure that you are constantly active, because your physical health takes a toll on your mental health as well. If you are constantly worried about your body and you're comparing yourself to what beauty standards are constantly looking like just, it's up to you to determine how you're gonna look. Like I said, 20s is your prime time of life, because after this, everything starts to get old and crusty. The hips start crickling, the knees start getting weak, baby. The back starts to ache, the neck hurts. The joints only last so long, baby. The bursa in your knuckles it only lasts so long, y'all. So make sure that you are trying to stay as active as possible, especially stretching. Even if you're not getting completely active, being in the gym, going to Pilates, whatever it may be. If it's not as active as that, make sure you're at least stretching, so that way your muscles, your bones are getting the release of tension that they need, and releasing that energy out, Like, just like I said, physical relates to the mental as well. So make sure y'all staying on top of that. And as we're on the topic of health, internal health, y'all, is very big. Y'all know I did a big episode. An episode a while back about, staying on top of your vitamins, paying attention to what you're eating, what you're drinking, what you're putting inside your body. It's fun to have, fun. It's fun to have fun. It's fun to do crazy shit sometimes, take a little. But just be careful and be mindful. Think long term about how this shit is going to affect you as well. How consistently you're doing this. Put the vapes down. I had to throw that in there. Don't beat me up. Don't beat me up. Put the fucking vapes down, y'all, please. That shit is worse than crack cocaine in the 80s. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's worse than that. Y'all, we do not even know the long term effects of what vaping is going to be like, okay? So I need y'all to be careful and be mindful of what y'all doing to y'all bodies, okay? All right. So this is a big one that she included into her list, is having at least a 5-year plan, or just a plan in general about your life. And to break it down into categories, she first started off with financial goal map of how much money you want to have, or how much you want to be making by this certain point in your time. I feel like we're kind of getting somewhere in the new generation that we are in now, but when it comes down to women and finances, it's always a tense conversation, because it's like we're constantly taught that women are supposed to depend on a man for shit. And it's just like, not over here, sister. We are going to make our own money. We're going to have our own shit together, our own businesses or our own jobs. Nothing is wrong. Not everybody is meant to be an entrepreneur. Let me put that out there. Everybody does not have the capabilities to own their own business, to deal with people on their own. Nothing is wrong with a 9-to-5 job. You are fine. You are thriving in life with your 9-to-5 job, and don't let anybody tell you differently. Okay, so, but you still need to plan as well, because you never know how the circumstances may go, especially with the changes that has been made from the election from last week. I need you ladies to go back to that reading, read up on politics. I don't want to hear about, that doesn't affect me. You're going to see. Especially since you don't have a penis in between your legs. Okay, I need you to read up on the education and understand what's about to go on. But back to finances at hand, have that goal set into place about, okay, by this time I want to have this much put into a savings account, or how to itemize or take advantage of credit. I'm reading a book right now. It's How to Become Rich, or I can't think of the name. I'm gonna put the link below though, so y'all can read the book. It's a really good book. But he first starts off, like, one of the first chapters in the book is like is taking really abusing the power of a credit card, because I remember when I was younger, I seen this video about this man about somebody did an interview on him, and he was saying how he never spends his own money for real. He literally spends the money on the credit cards and just pay it off. And y'all, that is extremely beneficial, because credit is what makes the world go around for us. Like, credit is literally everywhere you look. They looking at your credit score, your credit history, interest rates, all that stuff is it dictates a lot of things that goes on in your life, especially when you're trying to buy a house, cars, invest in a business, all that certain stuff, kids, like, all that shit is very important. So I highly, highly, highly recommend you educate yourself as far as your credit is concerned and managing your finances, because as a 20-year-old, we are very impulsive. I can honestly say that. I kind of still am impulsive, even with a child, like, impulsive as fuck. So it's like sometimes we do things for the quote unquote plot and just for the experience, but it's like, okay, hold on. Think about long term, sister. Manage this and figure this out, okay? I'm all for the living and, living, making the memories and the moments and stuff, but also make sure you're being responsible, okay, and considerate, especially if you're also living on someone else's dime, for sure. Like, just be considerate and aware of the things that you're doing with your finances, because it's going to affect you in the long run. Like, I literally just listened to somebody say your 30s is like living through repairments from the financial debt that you put yourself in the 20s. And that is super accurate, because we don't educate ourselves enough to understand our finances at 20 years old. Like, you're not supposed to be the richest bitch right now. Stop letting social media tell you that, like, you need all this certain stuff. Like, everybody's at different stages in their lives. People are putting in different kind of work, or they're getting things from different kind of people in different circumstances. Like, No, figure out what works for you and manage your money properly, so that way you are not in a hole too long in your life, because there's only so much you can depend on. Okay. All right. She said pretty much everything that I said. Read financial literacy books, all that. Yes. Along with your 5-year plan, you need to have an educational goal. So I know that college is not for everyone, right? College is not for everyone. Getting a degree, going into, a real field is not for everyone, but you need to remain educated. Reading, going to seminars, or listening to podcasts, or staying up to date with newsletters and reading the news, like something. You just need to remain educated. Like something that I'm doing right now, even though it doesn't count for me because I'm in school, but it's still something you need to do. Is I'm learning a new word every day from the dictionary. Like dictionary.com literally does a new word a day. And I go in, read the definition, get examples so I can understand it clearly. And I try to use it throughout the week and incorporate it into my everyday life. Like, well, how can I use this new word so that way I can apply it to my life? Like that, there's just the little things can go a long way to elevating your education. But it also goes back to reading. Or also if you are in school, because I don't want to like unaddress that stuff. If you are in school, stop putting yourself on the timeline. Like, do what's best for you. Just because everybody is finishing 3 years and 4 years doesn't mean it's going to work out for you. Like, everything takes time for a reason. Your journey is a little longer than others for a reason. Stop trying to rush through everything. Be kind, hold on. I got to be mindful when I say because I don't want y'all to use that as an excuse to slack when it comes down to your education. No, don't do that. But there's, certain things, because being in college, I understand, trust me. Certain things happen in college and getting an education, especially in college as a 20-year-old. Life starts to start lifing, and then how you have to take things a little slower than others. And I'm like, that's what I mean by, okay, it's happening for a reason. Okay, so stop beating yourself beating up yourself. Wait, what? Stop beating yourself up because you're not making this imaginary timeline that you made for yourself. As long as you are living your life perfectly fine, you're gonna get to where you need to go. Okay, just be kind and be gentle with yourself and take your time. It's better that you learn all the information that you need now, rather than what we're doing right now is rushing through it, trying to just pass the class, get the degree, and not learning anything. It's pointless, waste of time, waste of money. Okay, so make sure you have that set into play. She also listed personal goals. So what I think personal goals are just the little things like where do you see yourself in a certain point in your life, like as far as especially loving yourself, or your physical, your mental, or family wise. If you feel like okay, this is the time that I want to start a family. I'll tell you, even though this is not the mommy podcast today, I'm going to give y'all a little pointer about having kids in your 20s. I hate the conversation. I'm not gonna lie, because I am a mom in my 20s, and I only hate the conversation though because people love to push the narrative that maybe you should wait to have kids out of your 20s, but it's just like you're looking at situations where people are fine with having kids in their 20s. Like, I don't understand why it's like, it's either or. It's just like, do what's best for you. I think we've strayed away from that conversation of telling people that you need to do what's best for you and not what everybody is telling is best for you type shit. Like for me personally, this is me personally speaking for myself, for Niani G, okay? I personally don't think I could have seen myself raising a toddler or a newborn baby in an older stage of life. I feel like it just fit me perfectly now, because once I'm able to get out of school and graduate and get to my career field, I'm gonna have a child, like a child that's able to be independent and grow and learn, and I can teach them what I need to teach them. Like, it's like now we're both in the learning stages and stuff, and I'm young enough to stay active with a toddler, because I feel like once you get older, your patience start to wear a little thin. It's just, I don't think I can see myself doing when they're a little older, especially in my career field. Like I'm gonna be busy enough. Like I would rather deal with the teenage years than have to deal with the toddler years, because toddler years is probably the hardest years of dealing with a child, because they don't know how to communicate. But let me digress. We're not talking about mommy stuff today. We're talking about personal goals. Okay. But yeah, just having those personal goals for yourself and where you see yourself at a certain point in life is very, very important. Same thing goes for relationship and friendship goals. This is super crazy because this year I found this theory. Like I'm not gonna say I found this theory, but I came to the realization that I don't want to force anything at all. Like I'm gonna let things flow how they flow and let my emotions feel how they feel. So with that being said, as far as making relationship goals and friendship goals for yourself, don't put a timeline on what things are supposed to look like. For your relationships, don't compare, because you start to see people getting relationships, start people getting married, getting engaged. Like it's like, oh my gosh, everybody's doing this and look at me, I'm just here eating a bowl of noodles. Like, okay, that's fine. That's your life, not theirs. Okay, so be kind to yourself. It's not supposed to be perfect so soon. And also, you need your 20s is this time where you're figuring yourself out. Isolation again, ding, 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 ding. How can you get into a relationship or a friendship if you don't know who you are, what you like, what your boundaries are, what your non-negotiables are? That's crazy. And it's not going to benefit anybody at all if you don't know yourself. Like it's two strangers getting in a relationship. You're the stranger to yourself and they're a stranger to you. Imagine how that's going to work out. It's not going to end well. Okay, so make sure that you're spending a lot of time with understanding who you are and loving you for you, and knowing that, okay, these are my boundaries and my non-negotiables, and I'm not changing that for nobody. You're coming into my life, so you need to move accordingly to my life. Okay, that makes sense. So this is a big one that I love that she brought up about leaving your hometown. So we have a lot, especially from New Orleans, right? We are from New Orleans. We're both from New Orleans, and like everybody knows how New Orleans is. New Orleans is super small. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody has dealt with the same people. It's just everybody, right? But also New Orleans is a place where you cannot thrive. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, unless you're like so far gone into your career or something is a different story. But being a 20-year-old young girl, I don't think I could see myself thriving in New Orleans at all. And I feel like that goes back to your hometown in general, because that is something you're used to. You haven't experienced outside of what you know type shit. And I'm so happy she listed that, because it's very important for you to go out and explore the world, especially on your own, because you're not having people dictate how you're supposed to move, and where you're not settling into this comfort that you get from being at home. Like that's why a lot of people tend to stick to what they know, or like the old people don't want to leave because they're comfortable. They're afraid to see what the world has to offer. But it's like, you're young, you need to go out there and you need to experience it, especially if you can. It's different when you're in a circumstance where you can't. Like taking that risk is big, but also take the risk. I ain't gonna lie, I'm here to tell you, take the motherfucking risk. Because what's the worst that's gonna happen? You're gonna have to go back home, but you can't say you didn't do it. All right, so if you need that goal to be like, all right, I need to pack up my bag. Call me, baby. I could be you hauling in a minute. Amen. You need a Penske? That's me. Like I'm all for getting out and going and exploring and introducing yourself into a new environment. Like I said, the worst thing you're gonna do is go back home. It's like you realize this is not for you, or you cannot survive in this type of life. Then all right, so be it. But move, go in. That's all we got to say. As far as that is concerned, this is another big one she mentioned, is that you are the company that you keep. This is a tough one, because we like to argue down that birds of a feather do not flock together when it comes out to women. But this year of 24, I was actually able to realize this for sure. Because like I said, I spent a lot of time in isolation by myself and learning myself. And I realized in certain friend groups or around just like certain friend dynamics, I was exposed to certain things that kind of put me in unforeseen circumstances, right? And that's when I finally realized, like, yes, birds of flood do flock together. No matter how much you want to say, if your friend is a hoe, maybe you're not a hoe, okay, but you're exposed to a world that, you know, is going to stray you away from what you deserve or what you need, right? And that's like even a job. Like, you can use that phrase for a job, the company you keep, literally the actual company you keep it. Like if you didn't know, I worked in nightlife, and it was a whole different experience for me. Like, I feel like now that I'm not working in that life anymore, I have a different outlook on how I experience and how I live and how I go out. It's like what I go out for, you know, what I'm looking for. I'm being honest with y'all. Like, as I was working in nightlife, like, it's more so of like, who got the money? Like, who gonna give me this? Like, you know, who's gonna bring the most to the table as far as money? Like, come on now, nigga, you out here for a reason. Like, cut that broke shit out type shit. But it's just like, damn, at the end of the day, these people are people. But also, that is the energy that you get from Houston alone. But like I said, once you disassociate from that lifestyle in general, it's just like, wow, this is a whole different perspective. Like, you're not under this entire umbrella where it's like, wow, I don't want to do that anymore. So it introduces you to a whole new thing. But I know sometimes we get stuck in being comfortable, especially around people that we've been friends with for a while. But you need to understand that these folks are kind of holding you back from your potential. Okay? Surround yourself with people that are better than you. Honestly, I know we don't like to hear it, but you need to surround yourself around with people that are better than you, are better positions than you, because you're gonna want to work for that. You're not gonna want to be the ugly duckling anymore. You're gonna push. It's gonna push you to be better than what you are doing right now. Like, if you're constantly surrounding yourself by people that are lesser than you, are not in the positions where you deserve to be at, you're not gonna care. It's like, okay, all right, we cool, we having fun. Da, 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 da. No, bitch, you need to get up, step your cooks up. We got shit to handle. Time is not stopping for nobody. So get your shit, pack your shit up. You got to say goodbye to this friendship and move on. Amen. And a relationship too, because that is the company that you are keeping. Hello. I'm so glad I said that, because that's the next thing she talks about is relationships and dating. But yes, just like your friends, that man is the company that you keep. Whatever he's doing is reflecting onto your life. So do some internal work and reflection to see why things are not going right into your life, because of who you're surrounding yourself with. Okay, so now we're going into the topic of dating. Now she mentions that, I'm gonna skip ahead to something, I'm gonna go back, but oh no, this is the first thing she says. She says to date everyone. And y'all know we are constantly told or belittled for the idea of dating around, or you're a whole and this and this and that. There's a difference from having sex with everybody and just dating. Like, nothing is wrong with dating. The whole point of dating is so you can explore the dating pool and understand that, okay, this is what I like, but I don't like this and this and this and that. Okay. The dating pool for us is kind of differently. Straight on to my own point about dating, that you need to be aware of is dating in today's world is kind of different because of what we're exposed to. We're exposed to so many different options. Imagine that. You literally can get on Twitter, go scroll and see 5 different niggas that you want to marry. For real, honestly, based off of how they look. So imagine what women kind of have more discipline when it comes down to that than a man. But imagine that, like, constantly having to scroll through social media and see everything that you want in a woman that's, and it's different ones. It's like, damn, different shapes, this is sizes. Like, oh, I love this. Like, the dating pool is very hard, but you also need to explore. Like, date them all, but make sure you're pinpointing the ones that you want to date. Somebody that's able to discern the difference, right? When you're ready to settle down, you need to know that the person that I'm going to date is going to be secure about being in a relationship. Like, the temptation, the lust, the ideology, like, all this stuff is going to be stopped when it comes down to being in a genuine relationship, because that's where we tend to go wrong, is that we start to fall for people that are stuck in those ways of lusting behind women or lusting behind an idea of a relationship because of what somebody else's relationship looks like via social media, and I'm gonna keep saying it because social media plays a very, very large role in how we dictate our relationships nowadays and how we dictate our dating nowadays. Because just like, damn, I seen this guy take this girl in a relationship, on a date, and they went here, here, here. It's just like, hold your horses, girl. Like, you are with somebody in a different category, date in that category then if you want that. But just know that maybe this might not be something final that you can, rely on in the long term because of the type of category that you're in. So just date around, date in the dating pool, and understand like, okay, everything is so different. Just date with an open mind, for real. Stop being so attached to people. Okay, and I'm not just saying that to you, I'm saying that to me too. Well, I'm not gonna say I'll be attached to people. One person this year. Just one. Just one, y'all, for real. But yes, impulse control is very important when you come down to dating, but date around. Explore, because you're not gonna be able to build up that non-negotiable list of the things that you don't do and don't like, do and don't want in a relationship because you haven't experienced it. Like, how can you create something when you've never experienced it? Okay. What else she say? Oh my gosh, this is another good one. She said to do not hate yourself for not liking the good guy. This is a big one because sometimes we are constantly told like, you're wrong for not being interested in somebody who actually likes you, when that's not the case. Like, sometimes even the good guy can be boring. And relationships, everybody is made for somebody, right? And obviously he's not made for me, so bye. Like, you can say that the experience was fun, but also communicate that. I think we lack communication in our generation for sure today, because we're so afraid of what people, how they're gonna retaliate and stuff. But yeah, it just starts with you having a simple conversation of saying, hey, I don't see us having a future together at all, and I don't think us wasting our time is gonna be beneficial to this situation anymore. So I wish you the best as we part ways, and you find someone that can be compatible with you, because I'm not the person, so nothing is wrong with that. I would rather you tell the good guy like, hey, I don't think you're the guy for me. Like, I'm just not, thriving in a situation, rather than trying to keep him around because he is good, because you're going to hurt him in the long run, and he's going to eventually become the guy that you don't want no more. So it's just like, why put yourself through that when you could literally just leave him alone and let him explore his options as well, so he can figure out what he likes in a woman and find somebody that actually likes him. So, or her, if you're into women, like the same thing applies, for real. The good girl, the boring girl, like nothing is wrong with saying no to that. Nothing is wrong with saying no to the bad guy. Not everybody needs a scammer, trap, and drug dealer. No, you don't. Because you tell me y'all can't even handle that lifestyle, for real. I know I can't. I need me a doctor. Sorry. I didn't mean to say that out loud. Anyways, moving on. So what else? That was pretty much everything. Oh, wait, another thing. Hold on. I have to address this, because this is another thing we tend to get lost with in this generation. You are single until somebody officially asks you that you are their girlfriend, right? Because as women, we tend to settle for what people have to offer to us for whatever reason, when they're literally telling us like, hey, I'm just having you here for this. I'm having you here for the layup moments. I'm having you here for the sex. I'm having you here for the benefits. Like me, I'm a trickster when I like a nigga. I'm sorry. I'm embarrassed by it. Good thing I only like one nigga this year, y'all. But I am a trickster when it comes down to my man. Or look at me. Look, exactly what I'm talking about. You were single. No, for real though, y'all. It's like when we start to become delusional. Like, do not do that. You are a single woman, so date around. Keep your options open. I feel like one thing I liked on, I felt this year, that I was so in tune with being isolated and being alone, that when I did come across the person that I am talking about, as far as like, being so attached to them, that I did. In the beginning, I wasn't able to distinguish that this is what I'm strictly looking for this for. Like, he typically came in the moment where I needed intimacy and sex the most. Because I was just in a chaotic phase of life, and I felt like, damn, like you came at the right moment, because that's when I really, really needed it. And not only did you just bring sex to me, you bring intimacy. Like, we clicked on a different level than I ever did with any other man. But also, I'm isolating myself right now. Like, I don't want to deal with people, so it's just like I'm gonna just deal with you because we already been dealing with each other. But it's just like, no, don't do that, because that's how you end up in the bad situation of, okay, now your feelings starting to get hurt because you're only dealing with this one man, when this was supposed to be your time of isolation. This was supposed to be your time of healing, your time of understanding yourself and learning who you are, type shit. So just be mindful of those kind of situations, because I put myself in a situation like that this year. And it took a lot for me to bring myself up out of there. Well, I'm not gonna lie, I still been nitpicking in and out. But it's just a difference when you understand that you're being delusional or you're just being stupid. And I know sometimes we like to say that they're the same things, but no, delusional is like you are convincing yourself like, hey, this is your man. Like, when this is not your man, you being stupid is like you're just going back to someone that you're not supposed to be with. Like, you understand that this is not a relationship, this is not going to go any further than this, blah 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 blah, but I'm just doing it solely for what I'm benefiting from it. Like, you're just being dumb, because you could just leave it alone and have God bring to you what you deserve. Right? Hello. See, I need y'all to y'all keep it up. We 53 minutes. We 53 minutes in here. We got a lot to go, y'all. I need y'all to keep up. But yeah, shout out to Kim for that. Her last notes was to remain kind and remain graceful to yourself, because like I tell y'all all the time, we are human, and this is our first time experiencing life as well. Like, everything is not meant to be so perfect. It's not supposed to be figured out so soon and so early, especially being 20 years old. Like, this is prime time understanding life. You're supposed to experience it. You're supposed to fail. You're supposed to lose. You're supposed to gain. You're supposed to feel embarrassed and insecure. Like, you're supposed to feel these things, so that way when you come out towards the end, you're coming out the most beautiful human being that you can be, right? But when you try to put those things on the back burner and halt them from happening, that's when the domino effect starts to happen. That now that you are unhealed, unfixed, and unexperienced young woman, you become a bitter lady. Just, have you ever dealt with them old crunchy ladies that's just mean, that doesn't know anything positive in their lives? It's because their youth was spent not working on themselves. They were focused on everything that was around them. Like, no, ladies, y'all gotta be careful and be kind to yourself. Like, appreciate yourself and respect yourself enough to be able to be like, okay, bet I am not being graceful with my life, and I need to make sure that I align myself again, so that way I can be on the right path. Okay, so shout out to Kim for that list. I really appreciate you, girl. So this is our last part, maybe, because I have some notes for myself, but we're gonna go through the third from my aunt. This is from my aunt. Love her to death, y'all, and she sent me some tips. This is advice of surviving your 20s from somebody that has surpassed their 20s. Okay, so but also, okay, disclaimer, she does say a lot of stuff that we did address probably in the last couple of minutes. Or I say last couple of, but in the last segment, like, we address a lot of the stuff that she says, but I'm still running down to y'all so y'all can have an idea like how these things still apply as far as getting out of your 20s. Okay, so of course she does say to spend time with yourself, getting to know yourself, and discovering what intrigues you. Now, that is a big one, because sometimes when we are so caught up in the self-love journey and things like that, we tend to forget like what intrigues you, like what gets you going, what gets you like, ooh, what is that? What kind of cookie is that? Like, where can I get that win? I'm not talking about a man, I'm talking about an opportunity. I'm talking about just brand new, like, what can I do? Like, ooh, that is interesting. What's going to keep you on your rocks and keep you going and keep you pushing, other than the man? I keep saying that because other than the man, okay, ladies, please, anything other than. Please, I beg. I smile, but I'm crying on it. I'm screaming on the inside. Just, I beg. Anything other than. Okay, so figure out what's intriguing you, what's going to keep you interested in life and expose you to new opportunities and new things, new beginnings. Okay. This is a big one. She says, don't live your life to please others. Doing this doesn't allow you to grow as a person. Now that means a lot to me because I grew up a people pleaser, like doing everything I could to make sure everybody loved me and making sure that I was the best that I could be for the people around me and all this and this and that, right? And this year, like I said, this was my year exploration for myself. That gets you nowhere but broken. For real. And it took me a while to build those pieces up to fix myself, but people pleasing is not going to get you anywhere. It's going to actually dig you a deeper hole. For real. Loosen up relationships. It's going to make you question yourself because people are not responding in the way that you want them to respond. Like, it's not worth it. Like, do whatever you want to do for you. This is your life. You're living your own life, and who cares what anybody else has to say? Like, prime time 20 time. Oh, I like that. Prime time 20 time. I think I'm gonna name the episode that, maybe. Prime time 20 time. That's what this is. That's what we're gonna call it. Surviving 20s is prime time 20 time, y'all. And it's all about you. It's all about what you want and how you feel. And you be selfish, and to a certain extent, don't be too selfish to where you're being disrespectful to people and, inconsiderate. Like, don't be like that. But be selfish to where it's like, okay, this is not benefiting me in any way to constantly trying to please you when you're not being pleased. Like, no, all right, I'm lifting my hands up and I'm moving on. Like, bye-bye. And that goes to every aspect in your life. Parents, siblings, cousins, aunt, family, bosses, whatever it may be. Keep it moving, keep it pushing. Okay. She says, have the self-confidence in everything you do because you are your biggest cheerleader. That is my favorite one, y'all, because I think I mentioned it. Y'all didn't film so many times. I don't even know what I talked about this episode, but I was saying that confidence is motherfucking key. Being able to walk in a room with your head held high is going to present you more opportunities than being arrogant and saying that, oh, you people are lower than me, right? Because it's like, oh, who is this? Oh, you got it. You got whatever it is. Like, yes, I do have it. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. So what can we do with this? So what's next? What I got? I have, what I can bring to the table. So what's up? What's the opportunity? What's the contract that you got for me? And that's confidence. That's being able to say, I know what I bring to the table. So what can I get in return for this confidence? Where can we go with this? How can we maneuver with this? Because also lack of confidence is going to put you in depleted situations as well. Like when you aren't confident about yourself, you're going to start to question the opportunities that people are trying to give to you to elevate yourself. Because you're like, are you worthy of that? Yes, you are. Have that confidence. Yes, you are. I am. Thank you. Put it in my hand. All right. So make sure, ladies, we are doing that work to make sure we are confident. Even if you don't feel confident, always show that you're confident, especially in a public setting. Don't ever let anybody see you at your lowest ever. Because people like to hold that against you. And when the time does come for you to elevate yourself again and encounter the people again, it's going to be an unpleasant situation. And I just rather avoid that. Just walk around with your head held high. You don't have to conversate with people. Just keep that head up, okay? You got this, mama. All right. What else? I'm going to skip through some of this stuff because we really did talk about this. Meet new people. This goes back to what Ken said about, moving away from your hometown. But meeting new people, making new experiences, going to a new place, step out your comfort zone. Y'all, we become too comfortable in mediocrity, for real. Like, we become comfortable in bare minimum. We are 20 years old. This is prime time 20 time. Prime time 20 time, y'all. We have to push the limits, okay? And stop being so just mediocre and doing everybody else is doing. Like, who cares what people think? If you want to go skydiving off a bridge, do that. If you want to go twirling a pole for a day, do that. If you want to dye your hair orange with streaks of green, do that. Who cares what people have to think? Sometimes we belittle ourselves, or we categorize ourselves, or we limit ourselves to these comfort zones because it goes back to people pleasing or worrying about what everybody else has to think. Like, no, go experience life. Because at the end of the day, when it's time to close that casket and sing that song, it's only going to be you up in there, okay? it's only going to be you up in there. So stop worrying about what everybody else has to say about you. Live your life for you. Live your life to the fullest, because you are going to regret it when it comes down to go in that old folks home and them students come up and that visit y'all and give y'all some lunch. Baby, you're going to be sick. Let me tell you. Let me tell you, you need to be living your life. You don't want to have that story. You need to have the stories about how you did live your life. I'm like, yeah, let me tell you about this story when I did this and this. Like, that's going to be the most rewarding experience, because now you're not going to be dwelling on what you missed out on. You're gonna be content of what you did in your life, the memories that you made. Okay. But okay. Hold on, sorry, lost my train of thought. I'm trying to keep up what she said. So another thing she said is to get rid of anything toxic. And yes, this goes back to everyone, literally everybody that is toxic. Remove them out of your life. And I don't even want to elaborate onto that, because sometimes we start trying to make loopholes in what we're saying. Nope, I'm gonna leave it at that. Get rid of anybody that is not benefiting you at all. You are too young to be trying to keep somebody in your circle that is bringing you down, that is keeping you in the pits of the HE double hockey stick. For real, it's not worth it. You have too much potential to not want to thrive in life. Like, no, like, tell him to fuck off. Sorry, I was trying not to curse this episode, y'all, but tell him to fuck off, for real. Get them people out your life. I know it's easier said than done, for real, because sometimes we are really in manipulative, narcissistic situations. But get help. Go to therapy or talk to somebody that you feel safe talking to. Like, figure out how to get it. But you also have to change that mindset in your mind that these people are not benefiting me in any way. They are bringing nothing but toxicity to my life. And don't wait until it gets too late. Do it now, because you know that it's not right now. Okay, so figure that out. Right. All right. No, I know, y'all, this is really long, but I don't care, because I still got some stuff to say off my chest. But that concludes what comes from my aunt, who's a lady that has survived her 20s. And I appreciate my contributors. Y'all are beautiful people. I love y'all for this. Like, y'all open a whole new window of perspective for me. A lot of things that I wasn't even thinking about as well, especially Kim, when she was like all that stuff. Y'all, please take heed, because it's really important at this prime time 20 time. Y'all gonna hate me because I'm finna keep saying it. That's cool. But I want to address some things as well that I included for myself as far as surviving your 20s. And I feel like these are really important aspects that we don't tend to address until it's too late as well. Because we always do that, especially as women. We like to hold hostage the things that are bothering us, or things that we feel aren't right because of what reason we were raised on it. We are constantly exposed to that because we live in a world that revolves around a penis. Men, they control the world, but not in our world. Okay, just think about Barbie. You know how Barbies had their own different world. Even though Kim was there, it was Barbie's world. Like, imagine, just live your life like that. Tell them to back up. Okay, so one of the things that I really wanted to touch on is I actually have a lot. Shut. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about how addressing your stress now rather than later is very important. Because as women, we tend to like to be so strong, so soon, so present. But yet, no, you don't always have to be strong. You need to release that energy. You need to yell. You need to cuss somebody out. You need to put your foot down. You need to tell them that this is not right. Advocate for yourself. You need to find or address or just release it. Stop holding everything in, because that's how we become bitter old grumpy women. For real, not releasing that energy and tuning into that stress, the things that are making us stressed and causing us to be overwhelmed because we are taught to hide those things. No, I'm here to tell you, we're not hiding shit. I'm pissed right now. I'm mad. I don't have a black woman in the fucking office right now. I'm pissed off. I'm irritated. I am sick. Okay? A woman at that, like, be for real, I'm irritated. Don't talk to me for the next 5 months, okay? We're sick right now. We just be bad. Like, let that anger release and stop holding it in, because it's not going to benefit you in the long run. It's going to affect you mentally, physically, emotionally, all aspects, for real. You're going to be torn down, and it's not going to look pretty, and it's going to take a very long toll on you. And like I said, you're going to be old and grumpy. You don't want that for real, because then they're not gonna come visit you at the old folks home for real. Okay. This one, y'all, this is my favorite one, because since we were on the topic of friends, I forgot to address that. But we always have this conversation about friends, about females always talking about how they can never find good friends. And I'm really here to say, because I'm really in tune with friends and friendships and observing things and understanding. And I realized the common denominator of not having a good friendships is you. The person that can never hold a friendship, you are the reason why you cannot keep a friendship at the end of the day. And it's from two different angles. One, probably because you are just a terrible friend. You don't know how to be a good friend. You're a pins and needles friend that everybody has to be all 10 toes on every time you come around, because you have a funky ass attitude, or you talk shit about people, or you don't know how to be welcoming. You don't know how to be a girl's girl. You're just evil. Like, that's the reason why. Or you're too lenient. You let people walk over you. You let people expose you to things that you know you don't want to be exposed to. Okay, you don't know how to put your foot down. You're not strong enough to understand, like, okay, this is not a friendship for me. That's why your friendships are not working, because you are putting yourself in a situation. Heal, figure yourself out, and fix your shit before you try to get into another friendship. Go to therapy. Seek help. Okay, figure out why the fuck you're so mean, why you can't be friendly, or not even friendly, but why can't you be welcoming? Why is your presence so dark? Or why are you so ditzy? Why are you so green? Why you let people walk over you? Get help, because 9 out of 10, that's the reason why. Because if you are a good person, or if you're a strong-minded person, an aware person, you're gonna know when somebody is in your life that does not belong there. Point blank, period. Like, it's no excuse. Sometimes we like to babysit and keep shit PG for people. We grown. We 20. What is it? All right, y'all know it. Prime time 20 time. Prime time 20 time. We in the prime time 20 time, y'all. So we ain't babies no more, y'all. We grown as fuck, and I need y'all to understand that you are the reason why you cannot keep a friendship. Plain blank, period. So I digress. I digress. Let's move on to another topic of letting your younger self live. And I came up with that today, because my friends, we've been talking about making a playlist about with songs like, that we grew up on, like Jonas Brothers, and shit I grew up on, Crease, like all that kind of stuff. Like, letting your younger self live every once in a while is very important. And I'm kind of lucky, because I have a daughter. Like, I cannot wait till she's old enough to start playing with my old pet shops, my little pet shops. I had houses, I had stuff. I'm finna be down there playing with her. Like, what do you mean? I be trying to teach her, oh gosh, she's crazy. Y'all know that hand game, take a piece, take a plum, take a piece of bubble gum. All that little shit matters, like letting that shit live, because like I say, social media takes a big toll on how we supposed to be living our life right now. And it's just like, no, like, live your life for you and let that shit out. Having that shit so housed in because of an image that's what's keeping you bitter. That's what's keeping you sad. That's what's keeping you depressed, because you're not living the life that you want to live. You're living based off of ideas of people that you do not even know. You're 20 years old. You're living your 20s right now. Live your life, because you're gonna constantly be in a world where people are dictating how you're supposed to go, and how you're supposed to move, and how you're supposed to think and feel. And no, let that shit release it all out, bruh. If you want to dance to Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, if you want to wear slippers, if you want to have Hello Kitty, you want to have bows, do that shit. Like, don't do it because everybody else is doing it, but do it because you want to do it. If you want to be a rock star, do that shit. Like, let yourself live. Like, let it out. I love it. I feel the most genuine people are the people that can thrive in themselves, can thrive thrive in their younger selves, for sure. Like, let that shit out of them, let them live, but also don't let it cloud you from what real life is supposed to be like. So another thing is to only be down for a moment. So one of the biggest things that I constantly see are people our age are letting circumstances in their lives control them, right? And I know it kind of might sound insensitive, but in a sense, when you are at a certain point in your life, you are in control. Nobody else can control what's going on in your life but you. So if you're letting a simple thing, like let's say a failing grade, literally put you in a slump, you have to be able to pull yourself up out of that for real, because you put yourself there in the first place. You have to be able to tell yourself a failing grade does not define me. Like a mental ADHD does not define me. ADD does not define me. Bipolarness does not define me. Cystic fibrosis does not define me. Sickle cell does not define me. You are a beautiful person. You are strong, and you're going to push through whatever you are encountering. But you have to be able to disassociate yourself from what that is and not let it define who you are. You know, being a young mom, that's fine and dandy, but that is not just who you are. You're still a beautiful woman deep down. Hello. Like, y'all just gotta be able to disconnect that stuff, but also allow yourself to grieve as well, because that goes back to what I was saying about how we as women, we tend to like to keep things sheltered and keep things closed off. And it's like, no, allow yourself to grieve what you miss. Like, it's fine, it's so fine, but only for a moment. Don't let it control and dictate your entire life and your entire trajectory of how you're living your life, you know? So just be careful and be mindful. But also never be afraid to ask for help. Go to any sources that you can, or reach out to somebody that you feel like is going to help you or point you in the right direction to finding that help, you know? Just never be afraid to open your mouth and be like, hey, I need help. It's that simple. Even if you don't need to elaborate, but go to somebody that is not trying to also be in your business. Like, if you go to somebody, be, hey, I need help, and the most you need to say is what kind of help. You say, hey, like, I'm dealing with dealing with something mentally, and I don't know how to deal with it, but I know what to do. Get you a therapist. It's fine. Like, just make sure you know you go to the right people. Okay. And with that being said, as far as like moving on to learning yourself, a big thing that it's like in between in a society today is learning your body. As a 20-year-old woman, your body is only this young one time. Okay, so being able to embrace what you have in front of you not in front of you, but what you have is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Okay, so be mindful of the things that you are saying to yourself. Like I said, addressing your insecurities, do it, so that way you can be aware of what you need to fix or what you can't fix, and accept it for what it is and embrace it. You know, be secure in yourself and enjoy the things that you love about yourself. Okay. And yes, lady, I just want to end this off by saying y'all need to, the 20s is just prime time 20 time. Let me stop cackling for real. But the 20s is all about experiencing and making memories and failing and going through life and being like, I did that shit, bro. Stop being so hard on yourself, for real. Life is life, because at the end of the day, it ends. It ends, yo. And what do you have to show for it? You sad and depressed and sick behind things that are very, very irrelevant. Like this, you're only this young now. Every minute, every second, you're getting older. And imagine the years and the months that are going by. You're gonna dread, you're gonna resent, you're gonna become bitter. Don't do that to yourself. Heal and become this beautiful, radiant soul that you can be, because it's going to be such a rewarding, a beautiful experience in the long run. Okay, so ladies, I hope y'all can leave today with something super important and super beautiful, and I love y'all. If y'all need anything from me, y'all know y'all can hit your girl up for whatever y'all need. Hit me in a DM, my email. If you need my number, say, bitch, I need to call you. What's good? Okay, maybe not call me, but text me. Okay, so let me know. I really, really love y'all, and I enjoy. If you stay to this long, I love you, girl. I love you. Make sure y'all leave a comment and post your pictures in your pink. Tag Moms Can Wine #2 on Instagram, and make sure y'all tap in next week for the new episode. Bye. I love you.